Hey guys, welcome back to the WizzMMA breakdowns. I'm finally back. It's been, I think, a year and a half since I've attempted to start posting consistently, and I think I owe it to you guys, I owe it to myself to give this a full go again. And I'm finally out of my work hiatus where it's been just a lot of hard work, and it's paying off. Now that I finally have some time, I'm able to do this consistently again. And I appreciate all the support that I've received so far on just the first video back, first couple of posts back. I'm happy to be back and very excited to start breaking down these fights week by week for you guys. And this show is going to be more of a, I would say, shorter format. It's not going to be dragged on for an hour. I'm assuming this is going to be anywhere between 25 to 45 minutes at the most each episode. That's what I aim for it to be. I don't like to drag out breakdowns. I keep it very short and concise. If you guys are used to seeing me on Liam's videos, I really try to keep these breakdowns concise while providing as much detail as possible. With this card in Belgrade, a lot of newcomers, so sometimes what you see on the tape from the regional scene does not translate to what is actually the case in real life when it comes to these fighters going up to the UFC, because sometimes the bright lights affect them, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes these fighters just, shit the bed the first fight in the UFC. And with it being in Belgrade, a lot of fighters are traveling all the way to Serbia. So you have to keep all of that in mind and keep all your boxes checked. Let's go ahead and go to the chat. VB, my brother, thank you so much. Everything is well now, and thanks for checking in. I appreciate you. Dixon, what's up, my brother? Good to see you. Thank you so much for being back. Yeah, the video. Oh, that's interesting. Let me know if it continues. Regardless, I'm going to be on topology for the most part here, so my face is really the priority. It's the breakdown and it's the audio. I'm working on getting a camera next. That's next step as I take this a little bit more seriously and get through this first week. Now, if I can ask for one thing, if you guys can smash the like button to start this video, I'd really appreciate it. And let's go ahead and hop into this first matchup where we have Marina Spasic going up against Stephanie Luciano. Marina Spasic making her UFC debut in Belgrade, 7-1 prospect. Samara Santos lost to Marina Merchant decision. Marcela Alves won against her via KO. And then you look at Luciano, her last three fights. She won against Olivera, where I think to start that fight she did not look good at all and was on the back end of losing that first round. Lost the split to Sam Hughes, which I kind of thought Luciano may have won. And won a decision against Talita Alamkar. Lower level WMMA, not my favorite thing to break down. And I'll keep it cut and dry with some of these matchups where I don't really have too much of an opinion. With this one, Spasic has good striking. Not really known for her jiu-jitsu. She has good kicks, can mix in the takedowns, but this girl really does prefer to strike. And like I said, no real jiu-jitsu threat. Now, Luciano is also good on the feet, but I feel like Spasic is more of a dynamic striker. To be honest, though, if on the mat or on the feet, I think Spasic is a better fighter. I think she could wrestle and stay safe in the jiu-jitsu, but I think her game plan here should be to keep this fight standing and out-volume Luciano. She pressures well, and I think she'll just corner Luciano and win a 15-minute decision. Next up. Why is this not working? There we go. And this is a dude that I've been waiting for quite some time to make his debut in the UFC. We got Jovan Leka going up against... What is going on with this topology right now? Of course, we'll have some technical difficulties this first time out. Bear with me. Alright, there we go. Cool, we have Jovan Leka. Are you guys seeing that? It's just freaking disappearing. Give me a moment. this off the screen. Yeah, it's spazzing. Well, we have Jovan Leka against Alexander Poppik. Alexander Poppik filling in on short notice here. Now we finally got it to work. Here we go. Let's introduce again. Jovan Leka going up against Alexander Poppik. Poppik coming in on short notice. I was saying that Leka is someone that I've actually been waiting to, for the UFC to call up, because for a heavyweight, he has some skills. He's, a good, decent striker, mixes it into all levels, can take you down, nasty ground and pound as well. Poppik is really a 205er, and like I said, this is on really short notice. I believe it's 4 days. I'm pretty sure he also fought at 185, super low level of competition, and will be giving up a natural weight, moving up to heavyweight from light heavyweight. Super slow on the feet, low volume. You don't really see too much. And this guy is 34. There's going to be a 10-year age gap between him and Jovan Leka. Leka's pretty skilled, as I mentioned, and I think he has the most advantage in the grappling if he wants to. And I think what he should do is look to take Poppik down and drown him. That extra weight is going to be an issue for Poppik, not being used to fighting at heavyweight, and he hasn't really shown a good get-up game either. I think Leka should be fine here. Again, 10-year age advantage. I think Leka's a safe parlay piece. I know everyone in their, as Dixon said, everyone in their mom's parlaying Leka. I just don't see a path for Poppik outside of a Hail Mary on the feet, but this guy's just too slow, very, very slow. And I think even on the feet, Leka is just going to be too fast for him. He's going to be able to counter Poppik and potentially find a knockout on the feet too. But for me, it's Leka and Leka inside the distance. Next fight, we have Nina Milosovic going up against Haley Cowan, and again, Milosovic making her debut here. Making her debut here against Haley Cowan, and to be Cowan 0-4 or 0-5 in the UFC, 4 losses by finish, flying all the way to Serbia. I really feel like Cowan, outside of a boring clinch fest and body kicks, decision, is really dead to nothing, and I don't think she'll be able to get that off against Milosovic. Milosovic should have no trouble wherever this fight goes. I think she's a much better fighter everywhere, very pressure heavy, and should be able to get Cowan out of there. I know this is WMMA, and last time out, I believe it was a knee that finished Haley Cowan. If you take a look at her last 3 losses, the knee to Alice Pereira, that's, you can maybe not forgive that, but it's a knee to the face. That shot's going to put a lot of people out or seriously hurt people. And Cowan is not the highest level, with all due respect. Nora Conol by submission. I think that's the likely outcome here. I think Milosevic is going to take Cowan down and find her way to a submission, because if Nora Conol is submitting you, then we have some talking. And decision to Jamie Lynn Worth. I'm going to say Nina Milosovic is going to win here by submission in the 2nd round, but laying this price in WMMA has proven to be not profitable. So watch your money. Don't overexpose there. We have a lot of setup fights, I'll be honest, in this card. It's a lot of big favorites. Finish heavy card, I believe. Who knows? I think there's going to be quite a few finishes. We'll count them at the end of the show. Dixon, let's see in the chat. Did you ever get invited to the MMA BD party? Haley and her husband were throwing at their MMA gym in Texas. No, I'm glad I didn't get invited, or maybe I'm sad, question mark. No, I'm completely joking. I haven't really been to Texas at all. I haven't trained out there, I haven't visited, but hopefully in the next couple of years, I don't think I want to participate in anything of that sort. I'm cool on that one. But next up, we got Kyle Prepler going up against Mateusz Rebecki. Mateusz Rebecki's on a 3-fight skid, but he is a huge favorite here. I believe it's -700 is the number. And when you take a deep dive into this matchup and you look at the tape, it kind of makes sense. I know what a lot of people are going to say is Mateusz Rebecki gets hurt, and maybe not gets hurt, but it's just he gets cut up, bruised pretty easily. His striking defense is not good, and this guy has an iron heart. Continues to pressure forward, and the one thing that I saw in Kyle Prepler's tape is this guy doesn't seem to like to get pressured, and anytime Dober was pressuring him, he accepted it and went against the cage. And the difference here is that Rebecki is going to be able to grapple. I think Rebecki is going to pressure, hit him with some hard body shots, mix it up to, if he doesn't knock out Prepelic, which Prepelic is very tough, I think that just leads into a cage takedown and Rebecki just mauling him on the ground. Yes, Rebecki will be the short fighter. He'll be able to scramble pretty well. Fails the takedown. I think what a lot of people overlook is that win over Orobai is huge, given the way Orobai has performed in his career after that. The kicks to the body will be there. I know the optics aren't good, but I just think Rebecki's fine here. Prepelic is tough, has a chin. I think Rebecki's going to be able to grapple him at will, just because also Prepelic has a bad takedown defense. 4 losses by finish for this guy. I say Liam picks fights by first round knockout. Shout out to my brother Liam. Yeah, dude, Rebecki is an issue with the way his face gets beat up in these fights. But he's facing someone who's not too dangerous here. Next fight up, I'll be honest, I don't really have too much of a read. We have Dennis Wizuk here going up against Bogdan Grad. Bogdan Grad, 2-fight skid, lost to Luke Riley by knockout, no shame there. Mohamed Naimov by decision, shame there either. Went against Lucas Alexander. And on the Buzukia side, knockout loss to Marcio Barbosa, my guy. Again, that is a very tough freaking fight. And you guys saw it was the first punch. Shut his out completely cold. And then split decision to Matt Francis Marshall. I think the one that really tells us a lot is the knockout loss to Jamal Emmers, because damn, that's not the greatest of looks, and that was 2 years and 8 months ago. I've always thought that Bogdan Grad was a little too small for lightweight, so making his way down to 145 here over his 2 fights, I think is a good move. He still is going to be a slightly shorter fighter here by an inch, not really going to be noticeable. Buzuki is a punching bag in my opinion, but so is Bogdan Grad. I do think that Grad has more knockout equity in this fight. I don't know why I have a weird feeling that this could be just an all-out war, potential fight of the night, because both of these guys go after it. Specifically, Bogdan Grad, he fights with his, without his brain sometimes, and it makes for a really entertaining fight. I think Grad can grapple and wrestle here a bit too, but that's it. On to the next one. 3 live viewers. We will make our way back to these numbers. But I appreciate you all for being online and participating. Thank you, Dixon. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Next fight up, we got Mark Logden going up against Borislav Nicolich. I have never been a big Vologden guy. I don't think many people are, but I think we're more on the side of Vologden hater. Dude's a punching bag and it's super tough, but the damage that he's eaten over his past few fights is going to start to add up, especially at the ripe age of 26. Like, you cannot be getting away with that and expecting to survive all 3 rounds. We'll also be at a height and reach disadvantage here. I just think at some point the damage will catch up to him and he will get knocked out. Very poor fight IQ, starts off really slow, and then he just goes all out and crashes out and tries to push forward, eat shots, and hit shots. 6-inch height disadvantage. We don't really have anything listed for reach for Nicolich, but this guy Nicolich is, all-out war too. Doesn't really have a regard for his own chin. Not too familiar with him. I'm still taking this fight specifically, but hits very hard. Wants to kill you with every shot. No real defense, so maybe Vologden KO or KO1 could be an interesting look. I would have to, tape a little bit more to see what I like there. I do end up thinking that Nicolich subs Vologden here. Vologden, if he shoots a lazy takedown, this guy Nicolich's takedown defense is shooting gillies, and I just think that he can catch Vologden. If not, he's going to just knock him out on the feet. So for me, it's Nicolich, but I don't know if I want to lay the price here with him. Let's look at the chat. Do you see Bogdan Grad in his hair now? Oh, dude, yeah, that's the thing that scares me. I feel like these guys, when they start to change their look and go blonde, and like, why are you doing all that? You don't need to do this. I feel like it definitely has like a soul mentally. It's just like a weird theory that I have. Hilarious though. It suits him oddly enough. Bogdan finally getting finished. I agree. I see Bogdan practicing his spinning. Yeah, I don't know what he expects to land with that kick. He's trying to land a body kick. On to the next one. And oh boy. We have my prospect of the year, Michael PQD Olivera, going up against Oban Elliot. Michael Olivera coming back from, I believe it's either a hand or a wrist injury, broken wrist or broken hand. Man, this guy can strike. On the LFA scene, 8 for 9 in terms of his wins by knockout, and 1 by decision to that dude who was a doctor who took him all the way to decision. He was a punching bag. Like, I thought the fight could have been stopped a couple times. Of course, I bet the under 1.5 in that one too. Great outcome. The one time. But yeah, I think Olivera is the real deal. I think he knocks Oban out. I believe Michael Olivera at some point, as long as he continues to develop, he'll be top 10 material, if not top 5 material. I know we haven't really seen too much of his grappling. That's my point of pause. It's a bit of a question mark right now, but I don't think it'll be an issue. The jab, I think, will land at will against Oban Elliot. Oban's last 2 fights are really big red flags. Against Suki Ko, he don't look like an NCAA All-American. And then against Mikhailov just body kicked him to death and found the submission. So, yeah, I just think Oban is too slow for Michael Olivera in the striking, and I don't think he'll have the physicality to get Olivera to the ground or the grappling altogether to hold him down. Olivera has shown pretty good durability in his career too, so there's no fear of him getting flash knocked out. I do have a little bit of concern with his defense, just slightly, nothing too crazy, but he is there sometimes to be hit. He leaves some openings. So yeah, I do think that Michael Olivera gets this done, whether in the second round or the first. But yeah, he's going to be jabbing his face off completely. Michael Olivera is this week's Damien. Yeah, to be honest, yeah, he's not a one-punch knockout kind of guy. He does it more by attrition. But the thing is, he doesn't need to land too many for it to happen because he's accurate. The one thing I like about Olivera is he's very accurate and takes his time. Does Oban survive 1.5? That's the mystery, my brother. We'll find out on Saturday night. I think this is a very intriguing fight for Michael Olivera. This could go over 1.5, given that he's coming off of the hand or wrist surgery or injury, one or the other. Hand or wrist. I keep forgetting. So maybe he takes his time and just to get comfortable in there. Regardless, I think Oban's getting finished. Next up, we have Luciano Klein going up against Todorovich Musayev. They're performing a security verification. This gives us a great moment to pause and to shout out the sponsor of the show, Kalshi. My guys, if you don't already have Kalshi, download the app on your phone. Use them for your prediction markets if you're into that type of betting. And tell them I sent you. All right, here we go. We're back. Todorovich Musayev going up against Luciano Klein. Another fight where I don't really have too much of an opinion. I do think that I remember Klein coming off that ankle injury. He broke his ankle against Rebecki, and man, props to him for being able to survive that third round, because I don't know if a lot of people would be doing MMA on a broken ankle, against Mateusz Rebecki from bottom. Like that is the ultimate visibility of heart. Like I can't give him props enough. And Todorovich Musayev is someone who I think is just not too skilled. He can hit and with power, and he can knock some guys out. His strike is okay, but I just don't really rate this guy's cardio. I don't rate his ground game at all. He gets taken down and can't get up. Seems to get frustrated when the fight's not going his way. I just think he's too old for the division, gassy, and against Bahamondes, I didn't like how he was cheating there. Uh, Too wild in the striking sometimes too. I think Klein is better, but it's hard to tell where he's at after the broken ankle. I just want to give it some time and just hit one from the sidelines and not touch it. How we found out who Ludovic Klein's doctor is. Man, if it's a broken ankle, I'll be honest, it's not the most serious injury. And I'm not saying that to call it lightly. I broke my right ankle a couple of years ago, and within a month and a half, I was able to get back into light training. And then after 3.5 months, I was back at it, like in the training room, full force. Maybe 4 months to get fully comfortable. So yeah, I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world. I'm going to skip over the Janicic and Gugnon fight. I haven't taped that one yet. I just know that both of these guys are violence to the max. So we skip to Vlasto Chapo going against Urbina. Let me take the off the screen here. We're not sprinkling no point deduction, Dixon. I'm sorry. I just don't think that Klein's going to be wrestling. I think he might be able to knock him out on the feet. That's my initial just read from afar. Chapo making his debut here in Serbia. This guy, I believe, is coming from Octagon, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Octagon. And I believe all his wins are by finish. This guy's an animal. He's going to throw heat, looks to take his opponents out cold. Pretty bad striking defense. So if he goes up against someone who's a really good striker, I think he can get touched up and potentially finish. In round one, he's a problem. Now, Urbina at 170 had a terrible chin. He's moving up to 185 here. I was talking on Marco's Discord about this just a little bit. Moving up to 185, we don't know like what that looks like on his chin, if it benefits him or doesn't really have an benefit at all. I just think that no matter what, gaining an extra 15 pounds will help you somehow with that durability. At the other end, it doesn't help that you're going to get pressured against the cage and back up against the guy who's just going to be winging heavies against you. And if 1 or 2 land, I think Chapo knocks him out. I think this is round 1 Chapo or pass. And if Urbina is, not wobbled, hasn't been shook, and survives the first round, Chapo is starting to gas out, or the moment's too big for him, cardio dumps or adrenaline dumps, Urbina can take over. So maybe a live spot on Urbina there. Given how reckless Chapo is, it could be a KO 1 for Urbina, flying under the radar here, and we all look silly parlaying Chapo. But overall, I think this is a fun fight, and I'm looking forward to it. Next up, we got Dusko Todorovich going up against Robert Valentine, and Robert Valentine is someone who I game planned against for Torres Finney, and I know this guy really well. He creates chaos, not the best takedown defense. I just can't really get to laying a price like this, Valentine. Both of these guys also blast chins, especially Dusko. If he's clean, Dusko will wobble, and he's coming off of like some weird like knee injury that's been plaguing him. So you never know like how he's doing there with his knee and what the recovery looks like. I believe he pulled out from a fight recently. Let's take a look. Who was it against? Dante Johnson, yeah, March 7th. And I believe it was because of the knee as well. But this doesn't mean that he can't go out there and hurt Robert Valentine, because in the striking, Valentine's pretty reckless. He goes for those elbows and exposes his chin. So if he doesn't mind his P's and Q's, he could get knocked out too. At minus 160, it's a tough click, but I do think Valentine wins at the end of the day. He's a wild man, has better cardio, and it's just his defense is terrible. He could grapple and cage push here, but I'm talking about Dusko. He can grapple and cage push. I just think that Valentine's wildness may catch him off guard at some point, and Valentine's going to land one. Not the most passionate take, though. But going from a not so passionate take to a so passionate take, We have Marcin Tybora going up against Alexander Rakic, who's making his debut in the heavyweight division. Rakic is going to have a massive advantage in the striking and the kicking, speed, power, you name it. Yeah, he's on a 4-fight losing streak, but let's take a look at these names, bro. Azamat Murzakanov, much better striker than Tybora. Magomedan Kalaev, former champ, dude is about to be fighting for the belt again. Yuri, come on. Jan Blachowicz, and this is Jan 4 years ago, come on. So it's not like he's fighting slouches and losing. He's fighting some really good guys. And Marcin Tybora is 40. It seems he's about to be 41. He's 40 and 8 years old. No, 8 months old. 8 years old. I just think if Rakic is able to set up the calf kicks, it's going to give Tybora a really hard time because already when this guy gets hit clean to the face, he's wobbling. Just imagine how easy it's going to be when he immobilizes him with those calf kicks and Rakic throws them nasty. I think that this move up to heavyweight, especially with this kind of debut at heavyweight against Tybora, is really a favorable matchup for Rakic. I think he should be able to get this done inside the distance, but my issue is he's not the most aggressive of fighters, so you have to mind your P's and Q's when you take his inside distance props, but I think he could get around 1 KO here pretty easily. Tybora could try to wrestle, don't get me wrong. I just don't think you'll find much success. I don't think he'll be able to finish Rakic, even if he lands a takedown in the first round, and when the second round rolls around, it'll be too late because Tybora tends to gas out, and if Rakic is able to stuff the first couple takedowns, he's really going to be huffing and puffing. So for me, I think it could be a head kick knockout for Alexander Rakic, just adding another one to the highlight reel, and should be a safe parlay piece in my opinion. Next up, we're at the co-main event of the evening. We have Jan Blachowicz going up against Navajo Sterling. Jan Blachowicz coming off of I believe it's a knee injury as well, meniscus surgery. And, I've never really been the biggest fan of Navajo Sterling. Yeah, he's pretty sound and technical when it comes to the striking. I just think he's kind of slow and hittable. As we've seen in the Jan fight, he also is getting down, but he doesn't have to worry about that with Jan, especially with the meniscus surgeries. I think Navajo could continue to refine his skills and become something, but if he's matched up with someone that's more athletic than him or faster than him, he's going to have some trouble. It was a big flag in that Jan fight in round 1, getting tagged and being afraid of the takedowns. Jan coming off of that meniscus surgery is just a big question mark, man. And he's 43. He could land the leg kicks here. That's what he's known for. But if Navajo's smart, he should implore takedowns because Jan just does not have a get-up game. Will Jan be slower than what's it called? What's his name? Sterling here? Who knows? I think that Sterling wins this fight just on pure athleticism and age. But if this was 4 years ago, I think Jan brutalizes this guy. So it's just hard to take the dog shot on Jan Blachowicz given the medical history and given the age. Shout out my guy, Simple Skills Gaming. My guy. It's going to be weekly now. I'm going to try and either do it every Wednesday or whenever I can, honestly. I'll announce every week on Twitter. I refuse to call it. Last but not least, we have WizzMMA going up against Daniel Rodriguez. I cannot really speak on this fight too much. D-Rod training out of Classic Fight Team and out of the Mexican prison. Come on, you never know what version of D-Rod comes out here. WizzMMA, kill or be killed fighter. Round 1 knockout or gets round 1 knocked out. I just think D-Rod, it could be a liability fighting right now at his age of 39. Coming off of, the prison thing could improve his physicality and his shape because it seemed like all he was doing in prison from the videos he was posting was hitting pads and working out, push-ups and pull-ups and whatnot. But again, what does that do to the mental of a fighter who doesn't really need to fight anymore? I think Medic has power, but I'm rooting for my guy D-Rod. Looked good in training camp, and we'll see what happens. I think Classic Fight Team has some things up their sleeve. And Medic is also a glass cannon. So you never really know how he comes out. Does he feel the pressure of the bright lights in Serbia after calling Dana out to let him go to Serbia or have an event there, asking Trump for the pardon. You never know. I just think that this is a close fight, closer than the line indicates. I think people are forgetting who Urbina truly is. But those are my 2 cents there. My guys, it was a pleasure being back on stream with you all. Thank you all for the consistent communication here in the comments from my guy Dixon, Simple Skills, Daddy Johnny, and Mushroom MMA. Appreciate you all. If you guys could do me a favor, please like the video, share it with your friends and family, share it with your people on X. I would really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to doing this on a weekly basis. Hopefully have some guests on here at some point too, just to get the ball rolling. I will be on a show next week, pretty big show. You'll hear the announcement from the channel owner himself. But stay blessed, stay safe, make your bread, just be mindful of who you're putting your money on. On to another week. Appreciate you all, and have a good night.